Hi, welcome to the Economics and Personal Finance online course and the training video for that course. These are the items that you will need to complete before you will be able to begin taking the course and completing the modules. What I will do is on the first day of class is pretty much the first day, this is what you need to complete, this list of items that are here. At the end of that day, I will then go in and check and make sure that everybody has completed these activities, and then I will add you to a group that is called Begin Course, which will then activate the modules that you will be completing for this semester. So the items that you're going to be working on, and we'll kind of walk through them together. Obviously, you're watching the training video, so we're starting number one. You're going to download a file that has the due dates, and you're going to download the syllabus. You'll read through the due dates, take a look at them. You'll take the due dates quiz, which will ask you some questions about them. The syllabus and honor pledge, you're going to read through the syllabus, and at the very last page of that syllabus, there is a signature page for you and your parents. Those of you that are Maggie Walker students have seen this before. You're going to sign that and date. Your parents will sign and date. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture or scan it using your copier and upload the signature page only into its learning for me. And I'll show you where that is. You will then do a test module. There's a welcome module that you will complete. And then you will check your personal report section because you will want to make sure that your computer is working with the modules and that it's recording the results from the modules for you. So you'll check your personal report section. And then what you'll do is you will take the training quiz, and the training quiz is going to ask you some important questions about what I say in this video and what you go through up here in this information, and you have to get 100% correct before you can continue. You can take it as many times as you want and look up the answers and come back, but you will need to get 100% before you'll be able to begin the course. What will happen is on day one, I will post the course introduction and training videos and instructions. You will complete all of these tasks at the end of day one. I will then add all students who have successfully completed that to the Begin course, and then maybe contact those of you who have not. It's not that hard. Most of the kids over the summer did this and did not have any trouble with it. Now, overall, some couple of things that we want to talk about before we jump in and I start showing you some things. Each of the modules in this course, and there are 160, there's 81 in economics and the remaining are in the personal finance course. You will complete each of these modules kind of in the order that they're listed. They're grouped into lessons, and each lesson includes, 3 to 5 to 8 modules that you're going to be doing. For the school year, you will be completing one module per day, which is 45 minutes. During the summer, you will complete basically a week's worth of modules each day, which usually means about 5 to 6 hours, depending on how fast you read. Now, in each module, here are the parts that you need to be paying attention to. The module has all sorts of different interactive things to look at. There's some videos, there are some like PowerPoint things to flip through, slides, there are activities that you'll be completing, there are questions that you'll be answering. You do need to make sure that you complete all parts of the activity, all parts of the module. It is going to give you kind of 2 grades at the end of each module. One is a completion grade, a pass, or an incomplete, and then the other is the points you've earned in the module. Now, activities within the module, that's usually what you get through first. You'll have some reading, some videos to watch, and things like that. You'll kind of flip through the pages, and I'll show you an example. But then when you get to an activity, that's going to give you kind of some assessment and some feedback about what you've read so far. The activities are typically worth lots of points. So if a module might be worth 200 points, 100 of it might be the activity that you did. So you do want to take your time and try to do very well on these activities. Now, it does not help you. You only go through the module completely once. And it will not, don't try to redo the activity initially because it won't reset the points until you've completed the entire module. I'll talk about how you can redo and fix points if you're not happy with your points in a moment. But you would attempt the activity, learn from the activity. It'll give you some feedback about whether you're right or whether you're wrong, and then you'll move on to the next slide. At the end of each module, there's typically a comprehension check. A homework practice, and then sometimes there is an additional practice. and those are required for you to complete. Those are typically multiple choice, matching, fill in the blank type questions that you will do. So you answer those, kind of learn from your mistakes if you're making mistakes when you have those. You can use the um, module itself, go back and reread things to help you answer these questions. It's open book, open module, I guess you would say. So you can kind of take notes and answer these questions as you go. All parts of the module are required except for, let me move myself out of the way here, except for the Econ Lab. At the end of some modules, there's a simulation game that is included with the program and with the modules. You can play around with it if you want to, but that Econ Lab is the one thing that is not going to be required for this class. The other thing that is not required, but you may get extra credit for, there will be open-ended activities within each, not every module, but every few modules. These open-ended activities, if you choose to do them, you will turn in your written up summary of the open-ended activity only once at the end of the marking period, right before we take the quarter test. And so you'll send me one email with all of your open-ended activities, and I will count those as extra credit in the points category for your grade. All right, there's a lot of things going on in the modules. They do try to create a diverse set of characters. They're trying to have all sorts of interactions between you and the program by answering questions and playing games and solving dilemmas that they're going to present with these characters. There is an interactive graphing engine, so you'll be playing around with some graphs. I highly suggest that you have your own calculator, even though there's like a 4-function calculator available within the module. I would have your own calculator to bring with you both on test day and or exam days and just to work through the modules. All right, now I'm going to come out of the PowerPoint here because I'd like to go over to the actual course to kind of show you the other things that you're going to be looking at. So when you log into It's Learning, which we already showed you in the previous video, you would then, of course, go to the economic school year. So what you're going to do first is you'll see here that on your dashboard, there's a planner that's going to be running in over here in the middle. It shows, you can choose what you want to show the next 2 weeks, the next week, or whatever you have coming up. Over here also, there is a task. This is going to show you all of the things that you're going to need to do. So right now, this is, Labor Day, so I'm a little bit before when this is due. So this says next week. These are some things that are all included in the training task that you will need to complete for that. Okay. And I will check. I just noticed this when you're looking at it that I have one, it says overdue, and that's what will happen if you have one that's overdue. I just forgot to change the date on that to be not the summer date, but the school year date. So I'll change that before you guys get started on Tuesday. So what you're going to do is you're going to come into here, and if you have not done so yet, you would, of course, have done the intro to logging in and It's Learning. Now, when you click on that, it'll bring up some information about it, and what it will do is then you can go next, and it'll give you what you're supposed to do. Now, we've already done this because you've already logged in, but you do need to watch this video if you have not watched it. So you would watch this video, and notice it says right click and open the link in a new window. You do want to make sure you do that, otherwise you'll lose your place in this plan. So if you right click and it should come up, oh, I didn't right click, I totally left click. That's my dyslexia here for my left and my right. So let me go back. See how it pops you out if you do that? So I have to go back and then hit start again. So remember, right click. So let me go over, right click, and then open it in a new tab or open it in a new window. Okay. So I know even if you're Maggie Walker and you know how to log into It's Learning, I do want you to watch that because there is some information in there that you should watch. So you would watch that video, and then what you'll do is you'll come back to where we just were. So we'll come back in over here, and we want to mark it complete. It'll look like this when you first come in. You will mark it complete, and then you will go on to whatever the next thing is. Now, sometimes at the end, I have added the resources in. So, sometimes what you can do is instead of clicking this link right here, you can actually just go to the next resource, and usually it'll be the one that's coming up next, and you can play it from there. But remember to go back, mark it as a complete slider. And so then when you're done, you'll notice this is gray now. There's nothing else in this plan. You can simply close this out and you've taken care of that activity. Then you'll need to scroll down and the next day's training task will be up there, the next plan. And so you'll click start on that plan and you can look at the overview and see the items that you're going to be working on. And then you'll go through each of these resources and tasks. So there's the training video. Now, right now it says parts 1 and 2. I'm going to try to get it in one, but I only have 15 minutes for a video and I'm already at 10. So it'll probably be 2 videos for this too. Once you completed that, you would mark them as complete, okay? And then go to the next task. Again, this one's schedule and due date quiz, okay? So here's the quiz right here. You'll click answer. You'll answer these questions based on what you saw in the video. Then you'll go to the next item, which is the video on the honor policy assessments and grading. So you'll right click here, open that video up, watch it, and then mark this complete. Then you'll go on to the next resource, which is download your schedule and due dates. Read through this information. It's a little bit more information about how I'm grading the modules and late modules and incomplete modules and things like that. But you'll go ahead and you'll download this schedule that is attached right here, okay? Then what you'll do is you will go to the syllabus and honor pledge submission, download your syllabus, read through your syllabus, and then you will upload a picture of the signature page that you and your parents signed by clicking answer here. Then you'll go through to your welcome module. This is where you're going to actually test the system on your computer, so please do this with the computer you will be using for the course. Make sure that you are logged into It's Learning recently. And then you'll click on this, and again, I would right click and open that link in a new tab or in a new window so that you can see the module and it should pop up. You may need to allow pop-ups from this for this to work. Now within this module, a couple of things to kind of look at, a couple of tips as you're going through them. Now on the module, when we look at it, there are some navigation things that you're going to do. This is the title page, and you do want to make sure that this title page, you stay on it long enough like you're reading it. The most common time that students are saying that they do not get marked complete is because they haven't stayed on this page long enough. And also, sometimes you'll get this activate Adobe Flash. You'll just activate it and allow and remember, or upgrade your Flash player so that those types of items will work for the program. If you have things like this, which is kind of like a PowerPoint or a slide, make sure you read what's there, you go to each one and kind of work through those slides as you go. Now, when you're done with a page, you'll click down here where it says next page, and then that will take you to the next page in the slide. Now, a couple of navigation things as you're working through. Up here, there's these two little down arrows. That will give you a back and a next that you can use as well to navigate. If you click over here, this will give you kind of a table of contents that you can kind of see where you are, how much more you have to do in the slide, what's coming up in this module. However, I would not suggest utilizing this to navigate. You may accidentally skip a page. You may not realize that there are 4 pages in this integrated glossary or whatever it's talking about. So you want to make sure you don't use this to navigate. Either do the next button up here, or I like to make sure that I always do the next button that's at the bottom of the page when you slide down when you're doing it. Okay. Now, a couple other things to kind of pay attention to. Let me move myself up. Here is a little calculator that you can use in the program. It's not so helpful. I think it's easier just to have your graphing calculator out than this one. And then this is kind of handy. This glossary will allow you to look up terms. So if you can't remember something, you can always click on the glossary and type in, you don't remember what an S corporation is. So you can, see what's coming up. And if you start typing it in, see it'll come up and then you could select it and get your definition of it. So sometimes that's helpful when you're answering questions. So I'm going to end this video here and I'll start part 2 of the video in the next installment because this is 15 minutes.